two in this thing. Bank 3C notes, bank 3C notes.
In 1996, De La Soul released their fourth album at a time when stakes were at their highest for the group and hip-hop at large. 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul is Dead, and Balloon Mind State are three masterpieces of the Daisy Age, each produced by Prince Paul and radiating pride, positivity, and creativity. But in the 3 years between Balloon Mind State and their fourth album, a lot had changed. The group had parted ways with Prince Paul, the Native Tongues were no longer actively collaborating much anymore, and hip-hop had begun its ascent into the mainstream. So on this fourth album, De La Soul had to prove to everyone who they were now without Prince Paul, and that quality hip-hop could still thrive in the late 90s. And in July of 1996, De La Soul released their final masterpiece and one of hip-hop's best albums ever, Stakes is High. The first 3 De La Soul records had a distinct sound to them, but they all had a similar positive and free feeling, which mostly came from their producer Prince Paul. But starting with their second album, De La Soul is Dead, the 3 main members of the group were craving something more mature, to make something with more gravitas and exemplify the depth of their artistry. The push and pull between that desire to grow and the playful sound that they started with is a part of the thing that made their second and third albums so great. But for Stakes is High, they knew it was time to fully mature into the 3 artists that they were always destined to be. For as long as I've been a De La Soul fan, I've always viewed Stakes is High as the 4th best album from them. But as I get older and older, this album gets better and better. On this album, Pastanus, Dave, and Maceo take pride in who they are. Gone are most of the skits and the chaos that helped make their early albums unique, and here is their most patient showing yet, a record that meets hip-hop where it is at in 1996, completely changed, but De La Soul dedicated this album to meeting the stakes in front of them and proving to hip-hop that they are still De La Soul. They stopped working with Prince Paul on this album and produced a majority of it themselves, with a handful of tracks produced by DJ OG, Spearhead X, Skeff Anselm, and even Jay Dilla himself, who at the time was going by JD. This new direction with the production gives this album a more bass-forward, slightly more laid-back feeling to it, but with just as much personality as their first 3. The beats definitely feel of their time, but without feeling aged. They met 1996 hip-hop exactly where it was at, and proved that they could do it better than anyone. The album opens up with chopped up interviews of people talking about the first time they heard classic hip-hop albums, calling back to the hip-hop era that De La Soul was birthed in. This whole album is a reflection of the current state of rap at the time, so it's a great starting point to bring us back to where it all started. Then when the beat kicks in, it's just a breakbeat with the ringing, repeated sound of an old school DJ screaming "all right." And in that very first verse, Pastanus declares De La Soul to be here to stay like racism, meaning that they aren't going anywhere. And that flows directly into the first real track here, which is Super MCs, which continues the theme that has these 2 elite masters of ceremony contemplating whatever happened to all the real MCs. For as long as hip-hop has been popular, there's always been artists making music criticizing certain aspects of it, and that criticism has perhaps never been done as artfully as here. As the MCs and hip-hop have changed over these 7 years, since they came out with their debut, the business of hip-hop has changed a lot. And on track 3, The Business, they rap about separating themselves from the popular rappers who have chosen the money side of the business over the music itself. The features on this album are all heavy hitters, and on this song they got Common, and together over this incredible beat, which is one of my favorite that De La Soul has ever rapped on, this song is a late-stage Native Tongues masterpiece. As Super MCs, Pas and Dave are not just here to make informed criticisms about the state of things, they also take notes from hip-hop's party roots and drop some bangers that are just here to show that they can still rock in the spot. Songs like Once Again Long Island or the super smooth Didn't It feel like the group showing that they don't need to be dropping these abstract double entendres and concept records to make some heat. but at the same time proving that to make accessible rap music, you don't need to be preaching negativity, and you can still write about the good things in life. The Breaks brings Curtis Blow's classic into the 90s with a handful of really great energetic verses from the MCs and a beat that continues this run of butter. Every single instrumental on here fits so well under the umbrella of the album as a whole, but each brings their own thing to have this album always staying fresh throughout its entire runtime. The group's songwriting in general is just on another level here, with them producing most of the album and feeling like this is their showcase as a trio for the first time. They just feel so composed on every track and confident with every piece of it. Dog Eat Dog is a song that really just became one of my favorites over the past few years. Their hook writing is incredible, with this earworm that shows some singing chops from the group that I didn't even really know was there before this. And there's little flourishes in the mix throughout the whole project that brings the whole thing together. On this song specifically, there's that little call and response to the singing, saying "no doubt" and "I'm out," and it all just feels so hip-hop and so alive. Baby, 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 Ooh Baby is a very interesting track here, as it comes right in the middle of the album and sounds pretty out of place. It even starts with somebody calling the track bullshit before the music even starts. But I always found this to be a commentary on the state of mainstream rap, taking a direct, barely flipped sample of a popular song and making a rap hit out of it, Puffy style. This song is way more 80s hype feeling than the rest of it, with them rapping over Hobo Scratch by Malcolm McLaren. Aesthetically, I've always found that this one would have maybe fit better on De La Soul is Dead, but thematically it really fits well here and is a nice little bridge halfway through the album. Pasta Noose and Dave are two of the most respected MCs to ever live, and anytime you listen to a De La Soul album, hearing their chemistry on display is what makes it so special. I do think that Paz is often viewed as the leader of the group, but I do just want to shout out how great Dave is on this one. While Pasta Noose really stole the show on Balloon Mind State, Stakes is High always felt to me like the album where Dave separated himself as one of the best MCs in the world at that moment. His verses on Dog Eat Dog, Long Island Degrees, and Better Listen always spoke to me as something truly special, and all led up to his incredible work on the song It's So Easy. This is the rare De La Soul song performed entirely by Dave, and it's always been one of my favorites from the group's entire catalog. From the incredibly catchy hook, to the amazing verses that reflect on the effects of money and fame, to the laid-back, matter-of-fact voice that he delivers it all with. It's a true showcase of everything he has to offer. I'm not sure if this is the best De La Soul album, but I do think from a technical rapping standpoint, this is where both MCs are at their best. Throughout this whole album, the low-down rock that is the voice of Dave is the perfect foundation for Pasta Noose to swing in and rattle off some really amazing verses as well, ripping off some of his tightest flows ever. I want to give a shout out to the features on here too. I've already mentioned Common, but Zane is perfect on the Dance Ready for More. Truthy Nola is a great addition to the bouncy track Pony Ride, and a young Mos Def enters the scene with the head-knocking Big Brother beat. The album hits its climax on the penultimate track, Stakes is High. Produced by Jay Dilla, this is probably the most iconic song of the entire album, and for a good reason. This might just be the most serious track here, with the group really taking to heart the message and themes that they put on this whole record. This song is their thesis statement. In a 2009 interview with LA Weekly, Paz had this to say about what the song meant. I think the energy that we put into that song was similar to what Marvin Gaye put into What's Going On. I look back on people like that and think about how they had that moment of clarity, where they looked around them at things clearly decaying in their society, whether it's music or life. That's where Stakes is High was at. And on this song, Paz even shares that the native tongues have officially been reinstated. So if there's any question about whether true art and hip-hop will prevail, these guys have it covered. And after they take their point home on this song, they end it all with the most hopeful note of the entire album, with the song Sunshine. Even though they don't like where things are at right now, every morning comes with sunshine. This is probably De La Soul's most mature work, and as I get more matured myself, it speaks to me more and more. I'm not sure if it's my favorite of their albums, because all of their first 4 albums really are perfect to me, But there might not be a better way to end a run this spectacular than by meeting the stakes way up high and making another masterpiece. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know down in the comments what is your favorite song off of this album, and if there's any other classic albums you want to see me make a video on, let me know that as well. Shout out to De La Soul, man, they are just the greatest. Still doing it too. Their last album that came out last year was pretty great as well. As always, this video was up early a few days over on my Patreon, so head over to patreon.com/DefGoldblum and join the tribe tier if you would like to see my videos early, get some extra podcasts and playlists from me, and overall just support me in the channel. Thank you to all my current patrons, you guys are the best. And thank you to everybody who's watching. I've been having so much fun making videos lately. I feel like I've recaptured a little bit of love for making these videos, so I have a lot more headed your way, so stay tuned, stay safe, and stay def. Thanks for watching.